Impact Wrestling's Hard to Kill is January 12th, 2020. Uh, we have one match we can talk about and one match that has not been confirmed yet. Hopefully next week we'll be able to talk about that one, just due to how Impact is taping these things, even though they're telling us we're live, but we're not. Nonetheless, a great match came out of last night's Impact as Sami Callihan will defend the World Championship against Tessa Blanchard. Tessa, of course, won a 6-person gauntlet. Of course, Tessa was the last entrant, defeating Brian Cage, the fucking machine himself, in an incredible match. Probably one of the matches of the year, honestly, if it was given more time. But even still, an incredible match. But this is the first time that I can remember, besides like not counting companies that are, I guess nowadays we could call gender inclusive, like Chikara, and that's the only one that's really coming to mind, honestly. I mean, I know Wrestle Circus was one, but I don't think they're in operation anymore. And of course, Japan, Mexico, promotions that are intergendered, especially in Mexico, where it's more common. But as far as a mainstream American company, this is the first rise of a female that I can remember, probably since China, that could have been for a world championship. And of course, China winning the Intercontinental title was a huge thing back then. There were even potentials of her becoming the then World Wrestling Federation champion. But that unfortunately never happened. This, however, is a chance for history to be made for a woman to hold what could be considered a major world championship. Not that the Chikara Grand title isn't a great world title, but as far as structuring of what people define as a world championship is very iffy, and people might not even call Impact a world championship. But as far as a mainstream major promotion, I have to stress that very, very loosely and often, that this is something that would have never seen in probably 10, 20 years ago. At least competing for the world title was impossible for women. Over the past few months, Impact has actually been one of the better shows of the week because of people like Tessa, who are working hard. And honestly, Tessa could be one of the best wrestlers in the world. Not just one of the best women wrestlers, one of the best wrestlers in general. And as much as I feel that Callihan will retain, it would be a storybook ending. A happy ending for everybody involved if Tessa were to make history and become the first female world champion in Impact history, and quite frankly, as far as major promotions are concerned, in wrestling history. Again, we have to stress, this has happened in Chikara before, this has happened in Wrestle Circus before, this has happened in many other promotions. I don't think Mexico has had that happen, but promotions like AAA, CMLL have had intergender matches. It's been the lucha style forever. I mean, minis facing women, women facing men, men facing minis. It's been the concept of lucha libre forever. But and it's very weird because in this day and age, if Callihan wins, he will be the most hated man in the world, especially with how our world is nowadays. Which, as a heel, is perfect, but it would be for the wrong reasons. So they kind of trap themselves in the corner a little bit with how today's world is. I would not be surprised if Callihan retained, but I will pick Tessa to win because I feel that it would be the right thing to do. It would be a thing, and of course Callihan could get the title back down the road. He doesn't necessarily need it, but it's great that he has it. He's one of those wrestlers that doesn't necessarily need a world championship, but it's great that he has it. But again, I think Tessa will win it, but I would not be surprised at all if Callihan won, even with OVE shenanigans. That's a very big possibility as well. But there is a match again, but we can't talk about because of the taping structure of Impact. It hasn't been announced yet, as far as television is concerned. It is on this card, but we can't talk about it. But it's a great one for sure, and when we are able to talk about it, it'll be a great match. But for right now, this is starting to become one of the better cards Impact has had in a very long time, and who knows? Anything could happen here. We've seen that just with this match alone. But it'll be a great night for sure.